Avoid travel today and tomorrow if they can because of the snow. Joining us now is MTA Chairman Pate Foye. Good morning, Pat. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks, Dan. I'm not getting into the show snuggling battle.
Oh, no, I don't blame you, my friends. So what can you tell us right now about snow preps with the MTA? Already coming down in some areas as you see. What can we expect? Is the afternoon going to really be the worst of it?
Yeah, the afternoon will be the worst of it. Unfortunately, we've had lots of practice this winter season. Our advice is if customers can stay home, they should do that if that option's available to them. We're prepared for the storm, likely to have most impact on buses. All of the 40-foot buses have been chained. Articulated buses, which don't do well in snow, are in the garage. We're going to be running about 75% of usual service, and we're going to be working closely, as we have on every storm this winter season, with the women and men in the sanitation department.
Any possibility we could see elevated tracks or outdoor stations closed like we did last time?
I think right now that's unlikely. We'll be obviously messaging throughout to our customers and to Pix 11 and the rest of the media. I think that's unlikely. On elevated platforms and stairways, customers ought to use caution because they may be slippery. MTA New York City transit crews will be out there removing snow and sanding, but people have to be careful. We don't think there'll be a significant impact on subways, Metro North, or Long Island Railroad.
Understood.
On the bridges, we've closed the pedestrian walkways, and we'll be adjusting speeds to 35 miles an hour as appropriate. We'll be messaging that throughout.
Understood, Pat. Thank you for the update there. I also want to talk about the other big issue, which is safety in the subways, right? Happening today, 700 NYPD transit officers now assigned to patrol the subways following this surge in crime. Earlier this week, right here on Pix 11, I spoke to Police Commissioner Dermot Shea, who initially said, Pat, only 500 officers would be deployed. Take a listen here.
We're constantly evaluating the crime picture, the ridership, what's going on. And we will continue to be flexible through our CompStat system where our resources need to be. What we committed to, and we thought it was important to put the public at ease, Dan, we announced the 500 officers on Saturday. The days are running together, but I think that was Saturday. We think that's the appropriate number right now. We could throw resources at a problem and put, whatever the number of officers into the system is. There are other issues at play that need to be fixed.
So, Pat, the additional officers fall short of that request, 1,000 that you guys actually requested. What was the rationale, let me ask you this first, for that 1,000 officer request?
Yeah, that's a great question. Dan, what we did is we went back to the staffing levels that existed in 1995 when the transit police merged with the NYPD. At that point, there were well over 4,000 NYPD officers patrolling the subways, actually about 4,300. Right now, prior to Commissioner Shea's increase of 600 plus, we are at about a 2,400 level, and I think the commissioner's decision to add 600 plus officers was the right thing to do. We firmly believe that we need an additional 1,000 officers over the 500 that the commissioner added. And I think it's a question of both customer perceptions and safety. Look, in the month of January, felony assaults were up 26%. Murder, while it's infrequent, doubled in 2020, the number of murders in 2020. And obviously, we've had 2 murders already in the month of February. And kudos to the NYPD for arresting that perpetrator. But also, from a customer perception point of view, customers have to feel safe and secure for them to come back to the system. The MTA's ridership is pivotal to the New York City economy's regional recovery, and we need additional police resources and, importantly, additional mental health resources from the city. There are too many emotionally disturbed people both on the streets and in the subways.
So that number was 500. They came out with their new numbers. You still want that to be 1,000. Just the other day on the D line, there was a person who had a knife. Are there specific hot spots along the train lines? We saw what happened on the A line. Now there's this D line that may be considered more dangerous than others. Are you looking into that?
Yeah, we are. And as the commissioner referred to CompStat, obviously the NYPD has been the pioneer across the world, frankly, in the use of data and CompStat. Applying that to the subways is something the NYPD does already, but we also need additional feet on the ground to convey to our customers that they're safe, that the system is safe, which it is, but also to actively police the system. We need more men and women of the NYPD on the subways.
Yeah, and you mentioned those mental health professionals, and I think that is a huge, huge part of this, right? Agencies working together. Lastly, Pat, I know we're super tight on time here, but I do want to ask you about that overnight service coming back now. So it's 2 hours. You'll have a shutdown period. The officers will be involved in this overnight service as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Look, I know this is an important issue to all our customers. Dan, you and I have talked about it a long time. We're increasing the service to 22 hours a day. That's great news. And we're eagerly looking forward to returning 24-hour service to the city that never sleeps.
You know, Pat, you know, I don't want to say, but I asked you that repeatedly about the subway service. So I'd like to believe that maybe the pressure had something to do with it coming back.
It's the influence of you, Dan, and your and your viewership.
Exactly. Hey, Pate Foye, thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all you're doing. Stay safe to your workers today in the snow. 7:40.